In endurance racing, you don't win with one fast lap. You win by surviving every lap when your body and the track both say, enough.
Circuit Paul Ricard feels calm before the start, like it's saving energy for what's coming.
Paul Ricard's colors aren't decoration, they're a warning. Mistakes have space, but time never does.
Endurance bikes look familiar until you notice how every detail is built for hours under load. In a 24-hour race, breaks aren't about one stop. They're about thousands of controlled moments.
Endurance begins before the engine starts, when you prepare to stay sharp for hours.
The grid is controlled chaos. Every second has a purpose.
The start is loud, but the real enemy is time, because it never stops moving.
Endurance racing is not about forcing gaps early, it's about staying out of trouble all day.
Long straights aren't rest, they're where you manage wind, braking points, and patience.
The best endurance laps are boring, because repeatable is fast over hours.
Every unnecessary hit costs tire life, focus, and time you'll miss later.
Endurance racing is a constant negotiation with traffic. Patience prevents chaos.
In the loudest environment, the most valuable information is often the simplest.
Endurance is managed from the garage, as much as it's ridden on track. And a perfect stop is rehearsed, because mistakes here cost minutes, not tenths. The bike runs on fuel, the team runs on focus, hydration, and discipline.
Pit lane is where speed becomes precision. No shortcuts, no confusion.
Fast is good, clean is better, because clean stays fast all night.
In endurance, fueling is a ritual, repeatable, controlled, and calm.
When vision stays clean, decisions stay calm.
A great stop doesn't feel dramatic, it just returns you to rhythm.
Heat changes tires, brakes, and attention. Endurance is adapting without panic.
Fast corners demand trust, and trust comes from consistency, not bravery.
The fastest moment is often the calmest, when the bike settles exactly once.
In endurance, efficiency is speed that you can repeat for hours. Tires are a diary. Smooth riders write clean pages. The smallest mechanical details decide whether the last hour exists for you. The strongest teams stay precise and calm. Coordination without noise when it matters. Endurance is as much about recovery as it is about riding.
Watching can be harder than riding, because you can't control the variables.
The safest passes are the ones that look inevitable. In endurance, routine is protection, because chaos is expensive.
A single missed check can erase hours of perfect work.
Rider swaps look simple, because they're practiced until they feel automatic.
The stop is over, now the only job is consistency again.
Late day adds a new factor. Visibility changes.
and so does the feeling of speed.
Endurance racing teaches humility. Weather doesn't ask permission.
Val d'Or isn't a sprint with a long break, it's a long test of discipline. Pace, tyre life, rider stamina and flawless pit work turn speed into something that lasts.
When the surface changes, confidence must become caution, without becoming hesitation.
Wet conditions don't reduce the need for precision, they increase it.
In endurance, the best strategy is the one you can execute cleanly.
Rain doesn't just affect the track, it tests every movement in the pit lane.
Tire choice is prediction, made under uncertainty, judged hours later. The fastest way forward in tricky conditions is staying upright and predictable.
Dusk is where endurance becomes psychological. Your eyes and mind work harder.
In fading light, familiar markers become anchors.
Night changes grip and perception. Everything feels faster, even when you're not. Endurance riding looks calm when it's done right, because calm keeps you alive to the finish.
The garage becomes a control room. Quiet, focused, relentless.
The straight is where your mind can drift. Endurance demands it never does.
Fatigue is the hidden opponent, managed with discipline, not adrenaline.
Great braking is quiet. Predictable pressure, predictable response.
When the chassis is settled, your hands stop fighting and start guiding.
In night racing, short messages matter more than speeches.
Midnight is where small mistakes usually appear, so the best teams refuse to change their standards.
Wet night conditions demand respect. Smoothness becomes the only safe speed.
Awareness is a skill you can't automate. Endurance rewards the riders who stay present.
Precision off-track makes precision on-track possible. Consistency is not slower, it's how you build a race that lasts.
The hardest hours aren't the fastest, they're the loneliest.
Dawn feels like relief, but endurance punishes anyone who relaxes too early. The morning stop proves endurance truth. The basics still matter after a full night.
The tire tells you whether your race is healthy.
Cooler air changes grip and braking feel, another variable you must absorb without drama.
The end of endurance is planned long before it arrives.
The final stints aren't about being fresh, they're about being disciplined while tired.
Late race traffic is where patience becomes a weapon. Used carefully, never recklessly.
The best passes don't steal space, they use space that already exists.
Late in the race, repeatability is the fastest form of confidence. The closer the finish gets, the louder the silence becomes.
The last stop isn't about going faster, it's about removing every possible risk.
When the final stint begins, everything becomes simple. Ride clean, manage traffic, finish.
After a full day, the track becomes muscle memory, if fatigue hasn't stolen it.
Late in endurance, the smallest movements reveal the best control. Paul Ricard's colors make speed look different. Cleaner, sharper, more honest.
The final lap is not a celebration, it's the last time the track can still take something away.
The smartest speed is the speed that finishes.
After a full day, the finish feels unreal, like time finally blinked.
Cooling down is the moment you realize how hard you were working the entire time.
Endurance machines don't look perfect after the finish, they look honest.
The finish doesn't erase fatigue, it just makes it meaningful.
Endurance celebrations are rarely loud, because everyone is empty, in the best way.
The marks aren't damage, they're a record of endurance. When the race ends, the track doesn't feel smaller. It feels like it kept the secret of every lap. The finish isn't a single moment. It's the accumulation of every controlled decision.
The Bol d'Or proves what endurance really is. Teamwork under fatigue, precision under pressure, and control that lasts longer than excitement.